The Kenyan way of training and how you should train and not to train. Now, when I was training with the group of Kenyans, they had a pretty distinct profile of training, and coming right here with their program, this is a preview. I do have their full training programs. You could subscribe for $10 a month and you could download all of them right on my Patreon account. You can click on the link below. So let's get started. Now, the Kenyan style, they would start Monday as that's their tempo run. Now, not every Kenyan would do this, but it's generally the same format. So say Monday you have a tempo, and PM just easy. So 10-mile tempo progresses. They may start 6-minute pace for the first down and then work under 5 minutes mile pace. And they're always training at altitude, 7,000 feet above sea level. So everything's going to be a little bit harder and a little slower. I found these runs quite difficult and somewhat above my level. Coming down to Tuesday, we would do fartlek runs, whether it would be like 15 by 2 minutes on and 2 minutes off, or 15 by 800, 12 by 800 intervals. The jog rest. Now, in order to run faster in your intervals, the jog rest has to be very slow, but the key principle is jogging the rest, right? When you stand, it doesn't mimic racing, right? Because in a race, you never stop. You run the whole 10K, you run the whole half marathon, no stopping. So you have to practice that in practice. That is one of the key things that many regular recreational runners could learn from these athletes, is that you always jog the rest. And if you want the intervals to go slower, you jog the rest faster, more like tempo pace. So say tempo pace is 5 minutes a mile, you do 15 by 2 minutes at half marathon race pace. Not really hard, but the jog rest is a lot faster. If you want to do 15 by 2 minutes at like 10K pace, it's jog the rest a lot slower so you can get the turnover. That was one thing I was missing. My jog rests were always too fast because I'm always a strength runner, but I'm not a speedy guy. What got me to run speedier was slowing the jog rest, but always keeping the jog rest. And it's half the time of the running the rest, so 1 minute off, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. Wednesday, they would have an easy run. Easy, 7:37-minute pace at 7,000 feet. Everything would be done on hills and whatnot. And PM, 1 hour really slow. Now, a lot of the Kenyans, they jog like 9-10-minute mile pace. This is where I went wrong. Me being European, it doesn't work for me like that. I gotta keep my easy runs under 8-minute pace. I learned that I would lose a lot of my strength, my aerobic endurance, my muscular endurance if I would just run too slow, because I would feel like I'm not running. It would definitely help me recover, and my speed workouts would get faster, but my racing would not actually line up with how fast my workouts were going. And that was another thing, just running too hard in some of these workouts. So remember to always train at your level. Hold back if you can, but I like to keep my regular runs a little bit quicker, just so I'm not going too fast in my workouts, basically, because I'm working more on the strength part of myself than the speed, because once again, I'm not a speedy guy. A lot of Americans, European, white people, I guess you could say, Caucasian, we're not speedy. We're more like strength, because a lot of us kind of came from mostly like rural Europe, doing farm work for 10 hours a day, lifting things. So it's just a different thing. Kenyans, they were more like running to school every day, and it's a little different. So, but can a lot of Americans adopt this program and be successful? Sure, it just depends on your body type. So next, we're going right into Thursday, and Thursday would either be another fartlek run or easy, and a lot of times it was another hard interval session Thursday, and then Friday was just a moderate sub 6-minute pace run, and that really sucked. Saturday, 16 to 20 mile long run progressively, trying to get down to like low 5, so that's almost like another tempo run the last couple, and that really hurt. And Sunday was rest, go to church, because nobody could freaking walk at the end of the week, and they always would run 6 days a week. Once again, I'm not a fan of that. I need to run 10 go 10 days or 2 weeks and then have off. just more with that aerobic base building that I have for myself, and more of that aerobic, and I can't handle so much speed. So they would do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday a hard moderate run, and then Saturday a hard long run. And that's just that was a lot. But when you're a sub 27 minute 10K guy, and you're conditioned for this speed, it could work more. And they run 90 to 110 miles a week. Once again, I do 160 a week, 140, 160, 180, just a different body type. On paper, it looks easier than my training program, because I have ridiculous runs, almost 30-mile days. I have 30-mile days and whatnot, but like the intensity for my program is a little bit less. This is definitely more of a higher intensity, more speed related, and if you follow through it, you'll find what works. Maybe you have to take out Thursday's interval session, and that's fine. But my program is all fartleks just like this. It's very similar, except for the fact that I do run on Sunday, and I don't run 10-minute mile pace in the afternoon, and I'll do like 2 quality days a week and not like 4 basically. And I come into the next week back on Monday, that tempo, maybe 12 miles now, or 10 to 12. Tuesday 15 by 3 minutes on, Wednesday easy, Thursday easy or fartlek. Friday just okay, so Friday was either a moderate run or fartlek, whatever. And Saturday, of course, your long run, progressive. Every PM run is just about easy. I would suggest if you're running track and you have an afternoon race, you run easy in the morning, you do intervals at night. Basically, you want to run at the same time of the day that you're racing, right? Because why wouldn't you? Your body would be more ready for on race day at that certain time of the day, and that's what I'm a really big fan on. And these guys are actually, they would do that too. They may swap out an easy run in the morning and then run hard in the afternoon, and that's fine, totally acceptable. So I'm gonna break this last week down. Basically, that's the format: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are more like the quality days. Moderate runs on Friday. You could suggest if you want to do a workout on Thursday or not, or just run easy. I would suggest just running easy, doing 2, maybe no more than 3 quality days a week with a little higher mileage. More, I call it junk mileage. Junk mileage keeps you injury free and strong. Never had a problem with mileage. I always would strain muscles with too much speed, and training with these guys, I've learned that. When I go back last month here in New York, I'm gonna learn to cool it down. Breakdown. At the end, Kenyans mainly train 6 days a week, 6 days in a week, or 12 runs in a week, because they double every day. And 6-day block cycle with 2 to 3 quality days, 4 sometimes, which includes the long run, which is almost always a hard progression run. Of course, the first few weeks building up into the program are easier. Basically, base mileage, they won't start doing workouts right away. They'll go like 3-4 weeks of mostly easy running, and then 1 long progressive run a week. So it's really like 1 harder run a day, and then moderate running 6-minute mile pace they'll do. And I'm talking about these guys who have run 27 minutes, sub 27 minute 10K. So moderate run for me could be more like 6:30. Moderate run for my guys that I'm coaching, they're like 18 minute 5K runs. I would say 7:30 pace is a moderate run, and most of your runs should be like 8:30 pace if you're running a 18 minute 5K. Right? So base building, they would do that first. Yet soon after the second phase of training, after the base building phase, mileage comes down a little bit, and then you can start doing more speed. So they're doing 120 in the base phase, and then now they're doing 90, 100 miles in the specific phase. And that's the same thing with my program. I'll do 140, 160, 170, 180 miles a week in the summer, and then coming in parts of the fall, coming down to the winter, 120 miles a week. And I hit a few track PRs, really happy with that. Never got to run my 5 or 10K, unfortunately, which is my event, but we keep going. So okay, so over here, this is the unspecific part of aerobic training, which includes much fartlek running, progression running, go on field pitch. So a lot of this program I'm showing right now, it's still in the earlier phases because it's not specific training, it's fartlek running. Basically, it's still building the profile before you get into like a race. So it says on the top here, 5K, Kenyan way of training, 5K to marathon. It's all the same thing until the specific phase, which I will have after. You could buy it on my Patreon account, and the specific phases, if you're training for a marathon, you know, the key workout is a 60 or 12 mile tempo run. If you're training for a 5K, it's the 10 by 1000 or the 5 by 1K on the track. You're running on the track. So specific phase comes after all this fartlek stuff. So it's base building, big mileage, then fartlek running, and then the specific phasing, which I will have just about after this. So 5K, okay, and then read through this. And that's about it. So all these workouts are done on rolling dirt trail hills. That's another thing. They do everything on hills, everything on trails at 7,000 to 8,000 feet elevation. If you want more of this talk, please leave a comment down below. Of course, never stop running. Bada bing, bada boom.